Hi, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of this little show that I like to call Spill It. Spill It is a show where I get to speak to inspirational people and share some inspirational stories to connect people together, inspire others, and help people learn something new. And of course, this episode is no different. Look at this. You're getting a bonus episode this week. Woo for you. That's right. It is a bonus episode of Tea with Marcus. That is episode 96. Language, please. Ooh, I can't wait to get into this one because this has been riling me up for absolutely ages. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit teary-eyed there. I was watching the intro and it just got me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you all. Oh God. Yeah, it's because obviously on Friday's episode we just talked about um we talked about pride and um being proud of who you are and where you come from. And I obviously talked a lot in depth about Spill It, and then watching that like after obviously doing that episode with you all, and then a couple of days later watching that intro, it just brought it all back up, and I'm just like, do you know what? Like, it's gonna be an emotional few episodes coming up. I can't believe we're on 96. We're nearly at that 100 mark. It's a shame, isn't it? Not yet, not yet. Okay, right. I'm fine. I'm fine. Breathe. Okay. Anyway. When you get in here, don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe. So, obviously, if you're watching this on the live, then make sure that you have hit that like button. Okay, make sure you hit that like button. It's there for a reason. It helps the algorithms. The algorithms love it if you hit that like button. I, of course, love it if you hit that like button as well. And of course, if you're watching this on playback or you listen to this on the podcast, then make sure that you rate and subscribe as well. Okay, do it now. Just helps me out a little bit. That's all I'm asking for. Just a little bit of help every now and again. All right. Don't forget as well, when you get in here, make sure that you drop a comment and you say hi. Just go, hey Marcus, how are you doing today? Well, I'm an emotional wreck. That's what I'm up to. That's how I'm feeling. That's what I'm going on about at the minute. I am an emotional wreck because Spill It's coming to an end. Oh dear. Anyway, and of course, if you're listening to this on playback or you are listening to this on the podcast, then of course you can drop your comments, your questions, your concerns, anything like that to my email, Marcus at spillit.uk. I've got to do that because obviously I'm going to. I'm in my emotions at the minute, guys. It must be the weather. it's it's the weather. It's the weather. I blame the weather, okay? I blame the weather. Anyway, this will cheer me up. It's time for What's Your Ick?
Disgusting!
That's right. It is What's Your Ick time. This is I love this. I love the icks. I absolutely love the icks. We should have done icks years ago. I don't think icks were like a big thing though back then. Like when we first started out in 2020, I don't think icks were like a big thing. I think it's just Gen Z over on TikTok that have made icks a thing. But yeah, I absolutely love the icks. I know there's a few people out there, Claire, I'm looking at you, who absolutely love the icks as well. So I am just going to read this one because because I know a few people who do this, me, myself included. Okay, so somebody sent me an ick to my email inbox. Thank you so much. If you have got an ick, make sure you do send it over and attach a story to it as well. Let me know where it all started. You know, do it. Okay, so I got sent an ick to my inbox, and I'm going to read that for you. Hi, Marcus. Love the show. Listen to the podcast. Thank you so much. I've listened to the podcast since the very beginning. Ooh, a little There we go. Like that. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast from the very beginning. Absolutely love it. Please read out my story. It happened more recently. So me and a group of friends from work decided that we were going to go to a team night out, team building exercise. Okay. Yep, that's fine. And one of my work friends, who I've had my eye on for a while now, he is gorgeous. Mm. Maybe you should have asked him out. Although, to be fair, reading the rest of this ick, maybe, Okay, so anyway, so they went out on the, so they've gone on a team night out. Where am I up to? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah. So we decided to all go bowling. We each took our turn to bowl the ball down the alley. He bowled the ball and then walked back after his turn in bowling. Right. Okay. So essentially, what he's done is he's bowled the ball, and instead of looking at how many pins, he's just turned around and started walking back as the ball's going. See, what would have been better with this ick, and I'm not gonna love the ick. Thank you so much for sending it in. Love it. Okay. But what would have been better about this ick? For me, I've done it before. I bowl the ball and then I just turn around because I hate feeling, I feel uncomfortable if I'm just stood there watching the ball go down. And then you do this little lean thing where you're like, oh, go on, go a little bit this way. So I turn around and I leave it. Okay. So this person would think that I am a walking ick because of that, because I'm not watching the pins like everybody else. What would have been even better is if he bowled the ball, turned around, just started walking, and it went down the gutter. I think that would have been an ick for me. So yeah, thank you so much for your ick. It was fun. I can't I have to can't agree. I have to can't agree, okay? Because I do it I know, and the only reason that I do it is because I feel uncomfortable stood there watching the ball go down the alley and then hit the pins. And I don't want to be doing this. Like, that for me is an ick. That's my ick. When it comes to bowling, when somebody's stood there and they've bowled the ball, this is me bowling the ball, by the way. I'm just waving my hands at the screen. I've bowled the ball, or somebody's bowled the ball, and they do this little lean thing, like to make it to will it in a different direction. No, you've let the ball go off from your hands. It's not how it works. We can't lean in the direction and hope that the ball's going to go that way. It's not going to go that way. All right. It's just going to go whichever way you threw it. If you threw it behind you, what you're going to do? Turn around. So that's I'm adding on to it. I'm adding on to that ick of yours. Okay. That's my ick. I think if you bowl the ball and you wait and watch it and then you do this little lean thing, that's an ick for me. It's definitely an ick. Oh God, I love these icks, and I'm gonna miss these icks like mad. But that was your ick for today. Disgusting! Okay, so let's get into what we are due to talk about on today's episode. So, let me start that again. So, obviously, today's episode is called Language Please, and there is a reason for that, and it's because of something that keeps cropping up. And this goes into like a multitude of different things. Okay, so, but I'm going to just talk about language. Now, especially at this time of year, there are a lot of people who will post certain things that you aren't allowed to say. So at the time of recording, this is we're coming up to the run up of Christmas, and there are a lot of people. There's a post that I saw, for example, that says that it said something along the lines of the Fairy Tale of New York, the Christmas song. Their radios are now beeping out or silencing the F word that is said in there. Now, of course, um, we all know what that F word is. That it's a slur, okay? And the way that it's used in the song is a slur, okay? So she's saying it to him in a derogatory way. Now, there are a lot of people who are of the, let's say, older generation who then commented on this post and said things like, but it doesn't even mean I don't know. I don't understand why it's an offensive word. It's a food, or it's never an offensive word. You are talking from a place of privilege because of the fact that you've never had to have that F slur thrown at you. You are talking out of your ass, let's face it, okay? So I understand that that particular word is a food. I've seen them in the supermarket. Where I used to work in supermarkets, so I've seen them, okay? And me personally, I've had a giggle about it and gone, "Ha, look at that." But there are people who just say around about that song, but it's not. Oh, it's not even a bad word. It's a food. You know that that word has been used against people, gay males, for years, and it's been used as an attack on them. That's why it's an offensive word. That's why it shouldn't be said on radio. Not only that, actually, like while I'm on the subject of radio, it is an offensive word for that very reason. And why shouldn't it be silenced? And why shouldn't it be beeped out? Because of the fact that actually it's still an offensive word. Just like other words that might not necessarily be actual swear words, they're still bleeped out on the radio because they can cause offense. This is what really infuriated me about this post because I'm the type of person that if I see something and I just think, you know what, I have to say something because it's stupid. There was a certain lady on this thread, and she said, "Well, I don't understand why because it's not even a bad word. It's actually a food, so people just need to pipe down or something along the lines." And then I commented and I said, "Well, granted, it is a food. However, you know as well as I do that that is a word that has been used as a derogatory term to people of the LGBTQ plus community, and so therefore it should be silenced. Not only that, it is an offensive word because of not just because of the fact that it's directed at the LGBTQ plus community, but it's actually just an offensive word. It's a bad word. It's not something that you would want your son or your daughter to be saying." And then somebody commented, it was a guy, he commented on my comment. He obviously continued this thread. And he basically said, "Oh, shut up, you snowflake. You have no idea what you're on about. You obviously just get offended over words." Firstly, I don't get offended over words, okay? I have empathy for other people. Which basically means that when I see something that I think, actually, no, that's not the correct way that we should be saying things or doing things or whatever, I will speak up. Because you have to. You have to. In this world, you have to speak up for the people who don't have a voice at the table. Okay? And that's pretty much what I commented back. I said, I said, as an FYI, I'm not offended by that word. Never have been, never will be. Because words for me they're just words. That's what they are. You give power to words. It's up to you, like how you process that. You give power to words, and because I know that, I don't find that word offensive. However, that does not take away from the fact that it's still an offensive word. Just like the N word, for example, it's a slur. It's what people aren't allowed to say. You do not say that. Okay, because you know that if you are calling somebody that, it is a derogatory term. You are using it in a vindictive way. Just like if you was to call somebody like fat or a fatso, or you were talking, you're saying something derogatory about somebody's colored hair, or you were saying something about somebody's learning disabilities or whatever. They are slurs. If you say the R word to somebody who may have learning difficulties, it's a slur. You don't say those types of words. Now, I get that obviously the older generation, they have grown up with these words and they're able to just freely use them. Language changes. Language changes over time. So, what was okay back then, we now realize that actually it's not okay because this is how it affects certain people. So, therefore, we change the words, we change what we say because language evolves, language moves on. Otherwise, we'd all be talking ye old English, ye old Anglo-Saxon, or whatever it is. I don't know. We'd be all saying thys and these and yees and yays or whatever. Language changes. We learn more. We learn more from different cultures, from different people's backgrounds, from people's different walks of way of life. We learn more. We are more open nowadays to other people. We have more empathy for other people. And this is why, and I know that, for example, Gen Z gets a lot of stick. They got a lot of stick because they call a lot of things offensive. But they have the right idea. They know that you can't be saying certain things. You can't just walk around like and just go, oh, I'm just going to say this F word or this N word or this R word or whatever it is. You can't just say stuff like that anymore. It's not right. It's a derogatory, they are derogatory words. They are used with the intention of putting somebody down or to have a verbal attack on someone. There are other words. So, as I said, that at the time of recording, we're at Christmas time. There are other words that people have changed over time because of certain religions. Obviously, with Christmas being obviously Christianity, that's where the word Christmas comes from. It's Christianity. When people say Merry Christmas and people have changed it, now obviously this is talking mainly overseas, mainly over in America, where they'll go Happy Holidays. And the reason being, again, is because we have empathy for other people. Why would you say, for example, Merry Christmas to somebody who doesn't celebrate Christmas, who doesn't follow that religion, and excuse me, and it's not that it's not that they would find hearing Merry Christmas offensive, but because they don't follow Christianity, why would they want to listen to Merry Christmas? Why not just say Happy Holidays? There are so many different words. There are so many different words out there that we have changed, or different phrases that we have changed because of our thoughts and feelings towards other people. It's not that people, and I hate the term snowflakes. I hate the term snowflakes. Since the older generation have learnt that word, they seem to throw it around left, right, and center. Ah, you can't do this because of snowflakes. Oh, you can't do this anymore because of snowflakes. Oh, shut up, you snowflake. No, 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 no. You are basically saying that because you're calling absolutely every single person a delicate little person. However, have you heard yourself? You're getting riled up because of the fact that somebody wants to be called he, him, or she, her, or they, them. You're getting riled up because of the fact that the LGBTQ plus community don't want to hear the F word thrown at them from a Christmas song or just in general. You're getting offended because of the fact that you used to be able to say the R word, meaning that somebody was acting in a certain type of way. However, people with learning difficulties or just disabilities in general have found that term offensive, and so therefore they have said not to use that word anymore. You're getting offensive for words. So therefore, if you want to try and call people snowflakes for just saying no, that's not right, you're getting offended. You're getting offended. So does that mean that you're a snowflake? How many, for example, how many boomers? Because so Gen Z call the older generation boomers. And it's the generation of people who were born during the baby boom. Okay. So they call them boomers for short rather than baby boom generation. How many people have been offended of that generation being called a boomer. There are videos online where people go, "Oh, you boomer." Like Gen Z will go, "Oh, you boomer," or millennials will go, "Oh, you boomer." And then these people get absolutely irate about it. It's only a word. It's only a word. Eh? So I say, it's only a word. Oh, you snowflake. It's only a word. It really, really, really winds me up. The term snowflake just really winds me up because they learnt the word and suddenly it's just thrown around left, right, and center for anybody that just thinks, no, you know what? Actually, it's not right that you say that. Oh, shut up, you snowflake. You can't walk. There was a TikTok that I saw actually the other day where a woman, sorry, got into trouble because she posted a TikTok and she'd said um, a different way of saying I'm going to the Chinese chip shop. Okay, that starts with CH. Okay, and it was a derogatory term used against people of Chinese heritage. And because she received all of this backlash, she was like, I've grown up with that. It's never been a bad word. I didn't mean it in a bad way. It was just, years ago, they used to say, still not good. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how many years ago. It's still never good to say something like that. Oh, I'm just going to thingy. It's not these words, as I said, like it's never been okay to say these types of words. However, people never spoke up about it. Again, we talk about things like social media and TikTok and Facebook and connecting people together and all of that lot. Like we've gone through so much where now people hear everything. Your voice is everywhere. You post something on Facebook, it's for the world to see. You post a photo on Instagram, it's there for the world to see. So pre-technology, people were saying all of these different things and never being called out on it because it was just kept to them or their like nearest people. Now, obviously, with social media and TikTok and Facebook and all of that lot, with all of these different apps that you go on to and you say whatever, people call you out on it. It's not that these words have just suddenly changed in 2020 and whatever. It's because they have never been if it's never been good to say these words, and now you're getting called out on it. You were just used to saying it because nobody called you out on it because you weren't on a public forum saying it. If, for example, 10 years ago we'd had Facebook 10 years ago. So if for example, even before that, we had visibility on people's lives and visibility on what people were saying and talking about, etc., you would still have people calling it out and going, actually, no, it's not okay to say this. It's just more prominent now because of the level of social media that we have and the level of internet capabilities and technology that we have. It has never been okay to say these words. Language changes, okay? It's as simple as that. You know when you are saying something bad or that you know that you shouldn't say. If, for example, you say a word and you think to yourself, oh, should I say that? Oh, should I have said that? No, is the answer. No. Simple. If you have to question a certain word, it's not good. It's not a good word. Think of something else to say. Simple. It just really riled me up, which is why I wanted to do a bonus episode on it, okay? Because Spill It has been a platform where I've been able to speak my mind on certain things that have been going on in the world, but also been sharing inspirational stories and inspirational messages and all of that lot. But also getting into the nitty gritty detail of certain things. We've talked about like the patriarchy in society where men are deemed better than women, and it's not just like it's not like that people are going, but men are better than women. It's the subliminal stuff like in the TV and films and media and all of that lot where there is a predominant male. There's a predominant maleness within media over females. That's what we talk about with like the patriarchal society that we live in. We talked about men's mental health, for example. We talked about the fact that of men's insecurity or men's like we've talked we've talked about so many different things. We've talked about so many different things, but like the actual detail of it, and we've righted wrongs in here. We've talked about it. And so therefore I wanted to use this platform to say what I wanted to say about these certain messages that I've heard, these certain memes that people have posted. The thing is that there's so many different things on social media that people will just share just because of the sake of it, just to rile up people. Like for example, you will always see around Remembrance Day, you will always see a meme that someone posts and it has a rainbow poppy and it says the LGBTQ people or LGBT people are trying to change the poppy to be a rainbow one, or they want a specific poppy for people of LGBT um, people in the army or whatever. And then people will get really riled up about it. They'll go, doesn't involve you. And also, that meme is garbage. Basically, that particular meme was one person had posted something on eBay that they had created themselves. It wasn't that they were trying to change anything, they were just offering a different thing that they had created. Not only that, there were a bunch of gay people in the army at the time. So why not? Okay. And if, for example, somebody wanted to make something like that that was specifically going to people who identified as LGBT in the army at the time, or they were raising money for people or people's families of LGBT in the army, why not? Why shouldn't they do that? And breathe. Essentially, what I wanted to get across: words words change over time, language changes over time, and the more that we become receptive of other people's thoughts, other people's feelings, and other people's mentality, and other people's journeys in life and their own struggles, etc., the more that we understand that actually words can hurt, or not necessarily hurt. It's not the fact that words hurt certain people. Obviously, they can. Some people might find certain words really, really offensive, but there are other people that will just go, "Mm, no, you shouldn't say that." They won't see that word as being offensive. It's just that they know better. Doesn't make them a snowflake. It doesn't make them a delicate little person that's having their feelings hurt or anything like that. They're standing up for the people who haven't got a voice or haven't got a seat at the table. And that's what's important. It's important to remember that there are people who don't have a seat at the table. There are people who have had their voices silenced for so long. Now they are standing up, or they need other people to stand up for them. Words change over time, language changes over time. It has never been okay to use these types of slurs, the ones that we have mentioned, that I haven't talked about, that I haven't said, that obviously I haven't said them, but the ones that obviously I've brushed over. It has never been okay to use these words. Never been okay to use these words. But it's now people are more educated and they are talking about it more. They are making more people aware. So that is why that's why you'll see it everywhere. That's why you'll see so many people going, no, you shouldn't say that. No, you can't say that. No, you can't do this. You can't do that. This is offensive, blah, blah, blah. It's not that their feelings are hurt and they're so delicate and they need help. And oh my God, no, this person's words are cutting me open. It's not that. They are educating you. They are saying to you, you can't say that. That is an offensive term. So why not just wake up and and wise up about it? Realize that actually the words that you grew up knowing, or the words that you grew up saying that you thought didn't actually affect people, guess what? Actually does affect people. Okay? Sometimes it's just not okay to say certain things. And as I said, if you have a word in your mind and you think, I don't know if I should say this because I don't know if it probably is offensive. So just don't say it. Say something else instead. Simple. Oh. And there we go. And that, and I know I ranted, but it really, really, really annoyed me. Words, oh, without reiterating myself, words do change over time, okay? So just get used to it. Simple as that, all right? Languages change. We all know more now. And if somebody wants you to say something different, like a pronoun, if they want to be called they, them, or they want to be called she, her, or they want to be called he, him, or they want to be called the neo pronouns like I, and why not? Right? It's just let's just have an easy life, okay? Stop saying things that might offend people. Don't get your back up because of the fact that a certain word may be bleeped out on the radio. Don't get your back up because of the fact that somebody doesn't celebrate Christmas and they don't want to hear Merry Christmas. Don't get your back up. Don't start spitting your dummy out because of the fact that somebody calls you out on a word that you've said. You're an adult. It's time to act like it, okay? And that was my boiling hot tea for today. Well, that about takes us to the end of my Tea with Marga's episode for today. Thank you for letting me rant. I needed that. I really needed that because it was really, really doing my head in. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. Now, next on Spill It, so obviously you've had your bonus episode this week. Next, you've got Emmy and Mike coming onto the Spill It show. So you might remember Emmy and Mike, who came on in season 1 of Spill It when they had their Lightning McQueen car and they were driving around during the pandemic and obviously beyond and before as well, going to people's houses to celebrate people's birthdays in the Lightning McQueen car. It was so, so cool. I remember them actually coming around to my house once in the Lightning McQueen car. Absolutely loved it. But yeah, so they have more cars, they have more costumes that they wear, they have so much that they do with Lightning and Friends, so they're going to be coming on the show. Emmy also came onto the show to talk about a Halloween episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer called Hush, which is my absolute favorite. And of course, Mike made all of these Spill It logos. Basically, he did any design that I've needed. It's been Mike that I've gone, hey Mike, can you help out with this? Well, Mike created the Spill It logo. He created the Spill It merch logo. He also created the Dance X logo that you all know and love as well. Well, he's going to be on the show as well, talking about absolutely everything. These are two of my closest friends. They are pretty much family to me as well. So yeah, it's going to be a really, really good episode. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. So that's coming on tomorrow. Okay, it's Monday tomorrow. So yeah, tomorrow's episode of Spill It. There you go. You get double whammy of Spill It. Two over 2 days. Don't forget as well, if you want to follow me on all of my socials, and you can do, just head over anywhere that there's an @ symbol. You'll find me with @that_Marcus W. And of course, you can always drop me an email, send me your story, send me your ick, send me your concerns, send me your questions, send me whatever you want to. Just keep it clean. To a point, obviously. I'm happy with dirty stories. If you want me to read out a dirty story. But yeah, keep them all coming. Absolutely love it. It is marcus@spillit.uk. And of course, thank you ever so much, as always, for tuning in every single week, or just for this one episode. However you've tuned in, however many times you've tuned in, don't matter. Thank you. Thank you for letting me rant today as well. I really did need that because it really, really, really did my head in. So yeah, I promise not to get too serious next time. It's because I'm an emotional wreck, guys. It's coming to the end now. Do you know what I mean? I'm an emotional wreck, and things are really triggering me. Well, as I say, thank you so much for coming on this, for coming and watching the show and commenting, all of that lot. Thank you for listening as well on the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. So, until we spill it again, it's bye for now. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Spill It. You can catch Spill It live every week over on Facebook, YouTube, and now LinkedIn. You can also catch up with Spill It on the move on your preferred podcast streaming service. And don't forget to follow me on all my socials @that_Marcus W. And for anything Spill It related, you can always get in touch with me by dropping me an email Marcus@spillit.uk.